Prince William, Kate Middleton, and their three children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, are often described as the most photographed family in the world. But behind the balcony, waves and formal portraits is something the couple has worked hard to protect: an ordinary, hands-on family life. This is the real story of how the Wales family actually lives, based entirely on what William and Kate themselves have shared publicly. William and Kate met in 2001 as students at the University of St. Andrews and married in 2011. They welcomed their first child, Prince George, in 2013. Princess Charlotte followed in 2015, and Prince Louis completed the family in 2018. From the beginning, William has been open about wanting a different kind of childhood for his children than the one he experienced. In interviews, he said he wants George, Charlotte, and Louis to have as normal an upbringing as possible, something he's connected directly to lessons from his mother, Princess Diana, who was known for taking her sons on ordinary outings away from formal royal life. In a 2025 interview with actor Eugene Levy, William described himself and Kate as hands-on, everyday parents. He said that most days, the two of them are personally doing school pickups and drop-offs, not leaving it to staff. He's spoken about how important it is to get the balance between work and family right, saying that giving children a stable, happy home early on matters more to him than almost anything else. That hands-on approach extends to their choices around technology, too. William has spoken candidly about the difficulty of deciding when to give his children phones and how much internet access to allow. He said it's become a mildly tense subject at home, especially with George getting older, but that he and Kate try to explain their reasoning to their kids rather than simply imposing rules. The family has lived at Adelaide Cottage on the Windsor estate in recent years, deliberately choosing a smaller, more private home over a grander royal residence, in part so their children could attend school locally and live a relatively contained, low-key life. According to royal reporting, the family has been preparing to move into a larger long-term home, Forest Lodge, also on the Windsor estate. 2024 was, by William's own description, the hardest year of his life. In February that year, his father, King Charles, was diagnosed with cancer. Weeks later, Kate revealed she had also been diagnosed with cancer following planned abdominal surgery in January, and that she was undergoing a course of preventive chemotherapy. Kate chose to share her diagnosis directly with the public in a personal video message, rather than through a formal palace statement. She spoke about how difficult the previous months had been for her family, describing needing to find a way to navigate what she called stormy, uncertain waters. Throughout her treatment, Kate largely stepped back from public duties, prioritizing time with her children. In September 2024, she announced she had completed her course of chemotherapy in another personal video message, one that included glimpses of her and William with their kids, and even Kate's father playing cards with his grandchildren. In that message, Kate reflected that the experience had reminded her and William to be grateful for simple, important things, namely, loving and being loved by their family. It's a sentiment that's echoed in how the couple has spoken about that period since, less about royal duty and more about what actually mattered to them as parents. By January 2025, Kate shared the news many had been hoping for. She was officially in remission. Her return to public life picked up steadily from there, and by the following months, she was taking on a larger role again, including representing the family at major state visits. King Charles, going through his own treatment during the same period, gave his own update in December 2025 in a recorded message for Channel 4's Stand Up to Cancer campaign. He said his treatment schedule could be reduced going into the new year, calling it both a personal milestone and a hopeful sign for others facing similar diagnoses. Buckingham Palace was careful to note this wasn't a declaration of remission, but confirmed his recovery had reached a positive stage. Once Kate's health stabilized, she found new ways to use the experience publicly. In mid-2026, she completed the National Three Peaks Challenge, climbing the 3 highest mountains in the UK, to raise awareness for holistic cancer care and to support the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. Writing about the experience on social media, she reflected that healing isn't just about fixing what's wrong, but about finding balance between effort and acceptance, and between control and trust. Through all of this, the family's day-to-day rhythms stayed remarkably consistent. Reporting from royal correspondence describes George, Charlotte, and Louis as unusually close in age and close as siblings, sharing an interest in sports and living a life with far less staff and formality around them than previous generations of royal children. Princess Charlotte in particular has been described by her mother as a highly physical child, spending much of her time upside down doing handstands and cartwheels alongside a genuine passion for football. William has called her a budding star for the future. The two of them share a love of the sport, and in 2025, father and daughter attended the UEFA Women's Euro final together. Charlotte and George also share their father's enthusiasm for music. The three of them attended Taylor Swift's Eras tour together in London, where Charlotte met the singer in person. The moment became a widely shared story after NFL player Jason Kelce, who was also there, later said on his podcast that while William was great company, Charlotte was the real highlight of the night. Prince Louis, the youngest, has become known publicly for his cheeky, unfiltered personality at royal events, memorably shushing his mother during a Trooping the Color appearance and covering his ears during a flypast. Royal commentators and even a child behavior specialist have described him as a highly energetic, sensitive child who can get excitable in high stimulation settings, which tracks with how he's appeared at public engagements over the years. 2026 has brought a major shift for the family. Prince George beginning secondary school at Eton College, the same school his father attended. Kensington Palace confirmed the decision after months of speculation, and royal commentators have noted that it marks a symbolic turning point, not just for George personally, but for how the public will watch him grow into his future role. According to royal author Robert Jobson, the transition is expected to be emotional for William and Kate. Both parents attended boarding school themselves, so they understand what George is stepping into, but it also means their first taste of a quieter house, as their eldest starts spending more time away from home. Charlotte and Louis, meanwhile, are expected to remain living at home on the Windsor estate for several more years. Despite the milestones and public duties, the family has continued making time for shared experiences together. Over the 2025 to 2026 period, they were seen at Wimbledon, celebrated William and Kate's 14th wedding anniversary on the Isle of Mull in Scotland, and in August 2026 brought all three children to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, watching a netball match together from the stands. The family has also continued a tradition of releasing personal Christmas card photography each year, largely shot informally, without the stiffness typically associated with royal portraiture. Their most recent card showed William and Kate seated in a field of spring daffodils with their three children gathered around them, photographed in Norfolk. Royal watchers have noted the relaxed styling, jumpers instead of formal wear, as reflective of William's broader vision for a more modern, approachable monarchy. What comes through consistently, across interviews, royal reporting, and the family's own public statements, is a deliberate effort to keep George, Charlotte, and Louis grounded. Multiple royal commentators have pointed out that compared to previous generations of royal children, the Wales kids spend far more time directly with their parents rather than nannies and staff, attend relatively normal schools, and are shielded from excessive public exposure outside of key official appearances. It's a philosophy William has spoken about since his children were very young. As far back as a 2016 interview, he said he was concentrating heavily on his role as a father, and that raising his children to be good people mattered more to him than almost any other responsibility he carried. Nearly a decade later, that same instinct still shapes how the family operates, through a cancer diagnosis, a house move, a new school, and every ordinary school run in between. For a family whose lives are documented more than almost any other on earth, what stands out most in their own words isn't the ceremony or the title. It's the simple, repeated insistence that home life comes first.